just a group of dudes, some young guys and one old guy, having some good, clean fun at Iron Prodigy. We never hurt nobody. Um, so we're gonna open up with my squats, and I've been squatting for a few reasons. Um, I respect the iron game too much and the skill that is squatting, and yeah, I like to be at least a little bit illiterate across all iron game fields. That's probably the best way to describe it. So yeah, it's like I take pride in my squat, even though we're still kind of rebuilding it. That was a warm up set, and I'm actually going to give the low bar a true go this time, and I'm going to take my time when it comes to rebuilding it. I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to just really make sure that I master a certain weight before I move on. Uh, Biggest issue right now is it's actually the most comfortable it's felt. One thing I've done is I've widened my stance. I have, even though I'm a smaller dude, I have a decent amount of flat back there, of meat back there. So even with a wider grip, there's still enough meat in the rear delt area where it like fits in there just fine. In the past, one of the reasons that I've stopped low barring after a long time, after a certain amount of time, is because of shoulder issues. But this has caused me no issues at all. I feel super confident, super comfortable with the low bar squat. Only issues, I don't know. I thought I was past parallel, to be honest. So I think next week what we're going to do is like really try to bury them, make it like super explicit that it is legal across any fit, just in case I do a meet and care to share my shitty little total with everyone. But that's the biggest issue. I just don't know where my hips are when they're tilted in that angle. But it's going to get better over time, I feel, definitely. But overall, just super. This is the most confident I think I've ever felt with my low bar squat. And it should only get better from here. And I think a big reason as to why is because I'm completely okay with like whatever the pace is. Well, that's just going to be the pace. We're not going to. Thank you, Haley. That's Haley, my dog. Yeah, whatever the pace is, that's just what we're going to go with. So this is, I guess, something new, or one of the newest additions to my training, which definitely means that the front squat's out for the time being, and yeah, the secondary stuff, or you could say like the leg presses and the hack squats and things like that, all that is still going to be there. It's just going to, I guess, it's going to play second fiddle to that, which is okay. So strength stuff on that side, and then I'll do the hungry hippo, swallow volume with the hack squats and the leg presses. So you can't see it, but this was a calf raise PR. So I filled up this machine and then a 90-pound dumbbell on top of that, which I picked 90 pounds because that's like adding a few plates to the side. Really exciting. I've been committed to this machine. Actually, this is something that's not new. I've been committed to this machine for the last 3 years, almost 3 years anyways. And I remember, I think it was summer of 2016. Yeah, I was on my way to pick up Andrea from the airport, and this was like the last movement that I had to get in, and it was the first day I had filled up the machine, and I think I was getting like 5 or 6 reps. So just kind of shows you that, hey, it's progressive patient overload over time. So I've been really patient with this machine, and this is by far the best my shitty little calves have ever looked. We're going to take a lot of this other stuff as kind of like I guess B footage, like it's just stuff that's there. What I really wanted to address this week is an epiphany that I did have recently, and somewhere along the way, and I can't tell you exactly where, I feel like I lost that edge when it comes to training, and I can't really put my finger on it. I think a lot of it has to do with just there's a point in time when you know too much. I think when you first get into this, like anything's possible, and like Ronnie Coleman's just basically waiting to give you his Mr. Olympia crown, and then eventually like reality hits, and you kind of start to cap yourself, and it might reflect on your work. And I think that's kind of sort of been my story, I think, since like 2009. Yeah, and it's not to say that I haven't been training hard, but I haven't been training the way I know I could. And that's one thing that I've been really staying on top of, is like when I get in there, I get in there. When I start going on a set, I start going on a set. And just really, as tacky as it sounds, just like really living in the moment that is this set. Yeah, because I think, so there's a lot of fine coaches out there who I think, in regards to where they're at as an athlete, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's on the back burner, but they're almost like coach first, and then like they like doing this too, or maybe their goals have kind of they're slightly different than they were when they first started. And in my case, I'm not ready for that yet. Like, I am both. I want to be a great coach, but a big part of me being a great coach is like me leading by example, and like that's my little army behind me, and we're going to fuck shit up. So yeah, like I am still, like, it hit me at some point this week that I am still an athlete at heart, and that even though there's a very good chance that I'll never be, even if it is for like 1 year, proclaimed to be the best in my sport, be the last man standing on that world stage, I need to train and get after it like I could. And that's been, I guess, my epiphany of sorts. Hey, floor press, I fucking love this movement. This is going to be my main chest press for the next few weeks. Just throw that in there. But yeah, it's really changed my outlook and my perspective. And, I have a plan. I have realistic goals that I set outside of the gym. But once I'm in there, like I am in there and I'm going at it. I remember back in 2008, remember Eric Helms, like he was introducing me to our good friend Angela, and he, the way he described Angela to me is like, she's very much like you. She has this crazy work ethic, and like I stopped and I'm like, what do you mean some crazy work ethic? I just come in here and like do my thing. And that's just where I was. Like I had no idea that what I was doing was hard, that the way I was training was admirable. And it doesn't mean like being stupid, like RPE 10, 11 on every set. It just means like I was focused and like really, really, really into the task at hand. And I think it's been years since I've heard that from anyone. They're like, fuck, like like thinking back to like, not just Eric, but many times before that, like that's the one thing that I would hear over and over is a young bodybuilder was like, fuck dude, like you go hard and it's very admirable, get back to what you're doing. It was just like almost a daily thing, and not so much of late anymore. So tacky as it sounds, I think people can see the eye of the tiger when you have it, and it's something that as of this week I've kind of recommitted to finding. I don't think I'm going to find it all in 1 week, but I definitely want to find that edge again, because that's the one thing that bodybuilding gave me. I think many of the sports that I partook in prior to this, I kind of just got by on being like the best athlete, just kind of showing up, and the fact that I was competitive on that day, I would do pretty well. But with bodybuilding, it was the first thing that I ever did where it's like what you put in is what you get in return, and yeah, that's something that I need to get back to. I need to be that hungry amateur once again. So that's my plan going forward, is to just become hungry again and really train like I've done absolutely nothing. And yeah, again, it's going to be a process, but I want to get back to 2008 status in regards to my work ethic. I want it to show through when you see me training, and yeah, just really this next chapter of my training career, just really bring that back and combine what I know now with that relentless work ethic. So yeah, I guess we'll get back to what I have here in on the screen. CRO's coming back. CRO's coming back. I've been having to kind of improvise. Like there's a structure to my week, but it just hasn't been solidified just yet. And that's something that I need to get to. Write it down so that again you guys can see it and you guys can follow along, because that was a big part of this. But for the most part, I kind of know where I'm at. I kind of know what my where my jumps are going to be from week to week. I kind of plan ahead. I kind of know where I'm at all times, but it's not fair to you guys because you guys can't see. You guys can't look at these videos and kind of guesstimate how this connects itself with something that I'm going to do 2, 3, or 4 weeks down the road. But yeah, bringing this movement back because I was doing the inverted row on the TRX straps. For those of you guys who have followed along for a while, you know what that is. But it's just basically, it's like a row's version of a pull-up. Yeah. But adding weight to my lap was just kind of getting not so practical. So we're going to go with this where there's really no chance that I'll run out of weight when it comes to the seal row. And it's my favorite movement, or at least one of my top 3 favorite like rowing movements. I'd say this one, the hammer strength high row, and then the inverted row that I just recently took out of the program. Those are my 3 favorite horizontal row movements. So this is going to be my new bread and butter movement. Very practical setup in my gym. You might not have it that way, but hey, most of you guys can do an inverted row via the Smith machine or via the TRX. Again, like the biggest thing is I like the fact I like rowing movements where your torso is not potentially the limiting factor and where you can't cheat. You're gonna see some shrugs here very soon, and I have the best intentions when I'm shrugging, but here it goes. But even though I have the best intentions and I want to really be extra particular about my progress, you can kind of see that my ankles, my knees, and everything's kind of assisting. And that's the issue with a lot of row movements, is the fact that clean progress, if you're an ambitious lifter, can sometimes be hard to come by. So hey, I guess that's another thing. So yeah, the shrugs. I have a bone spur. Let me see if you guys can see this via this camera. So it's right up here. I've never gotten this thing sawed down simply because I've kind of mastered like learning to work around it. And I don't want anything in there. I don't want anyone cutting up in there. And in the past, like shrugs have bothered it. But not no more. At least I thought shrugs would, but it doesn't seem like they do, or especially not at this angle with this machine. So we're gonna give it a go. I have certain perspectives when it comes to shrugs. I think for the most part, if you can get them to grow from just rowing, you're probably not destined to have very impressive traps. But we're going to see. I'm gonna give it one more go. And if I get some traps, well then now I know, and it's something that I'll be more willing to not just program for myself from now on, but for my athletes as well. So shrugs are new, pull-ups are new. Pull-ups are new simply because, or I'm doing pull-ups, horrendous pull-ups at this moment. I thought my legs were more in control than that. That's like halfway kipping, dude. I swear I have more bodily control than this. Because I can do these anywhere. And with the month of June, the month of July, both those months are gonna be pretty busy for me. So instead of like being, because a cable station is not a cable station, like, and I'm sorry, but I'm like very fastidious about like that sort of like progression. Dude, look at that pump. We looking all right. Hey, we looking all right at this point in the off season. But yeah, a pull up is a pull up basically anywhere you go. So that's why we're gonna do those instead of pull downs. Since I plan on getting fatter from here, hey, that's how we add weight. Check this out. So if I don't have one of these, sometimes like that's one thing that I understand now, ladies, is that when you're down to your last one, and that was my last one of my bands, like you take care of that thing. And I needed my hair out the way so I can do these good mornings here. Good mornings. We kind of went over them in that last video. and this is how I kind of rate my hinges. So what I want you to look at is some object in the background and see how far my butt goes. So this one, it's right to that black line, the outline of that chicken in the background. So let's see this next one. There it goes, right about there. And these all feel good. Let's see, there it goes. And that's how I kind of, I guess, rate my hinge path. I think all of these felt pretty clean. And then when I went back and I looked at the camera, I'm like, okay, yeah. And almost regardless of where you place the camera on any of your hinging movements, whether it be a good morning or a Romanian deadlift, basically what it's going to do is, just give you, I guess, confirm your rating of how clean the hinge pattern was. So yeah, basically all of these reps, I could say that my butt got to the black outline of the chicken. And here goes another angle, kind of the same dealio there. But that's kind of sort of how I confirm what I think I felt when I was doing my hip hinging. I'll go back, look at the video, and see what in the background my butt covers. So there we go, black outline one more time. I didn't intentionally set it that way so that it was that I was using as a landmark, but in both these videos, that's exactly what we're using as a landmark. But yeah, this is kind of sort of how I go back and kind of confirm what I thought I felt. I think I just missed it. What I thought I felt during the set. This was probably the cleanest hip hinges I've ever had. It was only 225 on this day. I'm kind of working my weight back up, but this is the best it's ever felt. And I think even though, again, like my low bar squat, I'm not trying to make it a good morning squat, this is making me feel very confident that if I do misgroove it a little bit, I'm gonna survive and I'm not gonna spontaneously combust. Last thing in regards to tips for this week, if you do have this baby right here, a little addition that I added to this. Well, remember a few videos back, I was like, hey, mind the fucking eccentric on this thing, right? Like, don't just swing it back and forth. I think it was the last video, a few videos ago. With this one right here, not just that, but I've looked at some stuff by Dr. Stuart McGill, like the fucking man, if you don't know. And if you look up, like kind of keep yourself arched, man, is your whole posterior chain just on fire. So that completely changed how I do this movement, how I feel this movement, and I'm excited to really, like I feel more glute doing it this way, which is usually not the case. But in this case, yeah, doing this, like just has your glutes firing a little bit more. So yeah, no, this movement has been just like awesome for like hamstring health because of the eccentric. It's, I guess you could say, my one direct glute movement. Because again, like that is like where like judges look in bodybuilding, yes, your ass, to see if you are in shape. And if you can get that stuff to pop out and be a little bit more out there, that's not a bad thing. So yeah, that's I guess like the epiphany of the week there. I also need to work fucking harder, which we already talked about. Hey, and same thing to you guys. Check yourself. Are you working as hard as you can? Be real with yourself. All right. Don't forget that part. And then yeah, this thing is still going strong. The lat pullover. Again, like I hope this is my golden ticket to having some lats next time I get on stage. And yeah, I finally found my groove with this. It took a few weeks, and this is why you don't want to change shit all the time, but like I'm locked in and loaded, and every session is productive whenever I use it. That is it, guys. I'm gonna leave it here. I'll see you guys next week, and if you like the video, but again, only if you like. Be honest. Peace.